You're watching CN 100, Sports on Demand.
I'm Jim Blaney, and I'm standing outside Downers Grove South High School, where in the fall of 1981, a young man by the name of Mark Krueger began his high school career. Recently, that two-sport Mustang star was inducted into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame as a member of the sports media. Mark's journey through sports broadcasting began right here with a chance encounter with a microphone in 1984.
I was on the basketball team, and after our basketball practice, they were getting set up to do a girls' game, and they set up the PA announcing microphone, and I just kind of went over to the microphone and started talking into it, and my voice blared out, and I'm like, I think I need to do this, and I haven't stopped talking since.
Before his broadcasting career began, Mark was busy playing varsity basketball and baseball for the Downers Grove South Mustangs. One of his former baseball coaches, John Belskis, talked about Mark's athletic skills as a high schooler.
What I remember about Mark as a student athlete in basketball, when the game was on the line, Mark Krueger wanted the ball in his hands. He was tremendously competitive. In baseball, when you were playing your most competitive opponent, you gave Mark the ball and put him on the mound. His competitive nature has transcended into his career. He was always prepared, and he was always a guy that you wanted the ball in his hands when the game was on the line.
After playing basketball and baseball for North Central College in Naperville, Mark's TV career began in the 1990s, covering sports in the western suburbs.
How you doing, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys here on Jones. I'm Mark Krueger. Got a good show lined up for this week.
Mark has been working in the business for 25 years as a sports broadcaster. He's one of the best in the Chicago market. I believe he's definitely somebody that should be recognized nationally because he does such a great job as an analyst. He does a great job as a broadcaster. And I think just his true professionalism, I think the way he conducts himself, I think the knowledge of the games that he broadcasts, that he's responsible for on a regular basis, he truly puts everything into it.
I actually feel pretty privileged because I feel like I was there right at the very beginning. Mark started working for Jones Intercable, which was a predecessor a long time ago to Comcast, and Andy Angiano hired him to do a few things, and I was working for the city of Naperville, and we got to meet then and realized that we had played against each other in college. He was at North Central on the baseball team, and I was at Aurora U in the baseball team. We'd played against each other and got to be friends initially that way, and then as soon as I started producing games, when Andy left, I took his position, and I started producing games and got Mark in there as an announcer, and he's been there ever since. It's been pretty interesting to see and kind of feel privileged. I was there for the very beginning.
With the arrival of Comcast in the early 2000s, coverage of high school sports blossomed. Mark traveled all over the Chicagoland area, calling bigger games and bigger names than ever before.
Comcast came into the Chicago market and basically unified what was a lot of small independent cable company operations, and they're each doing their own sports programming and that type of thing. Mark had worked primarily in the western suburbs, working on schools and the organizations that were out in that area. When we came in and we unified throughout the whole market, it gave him an opportunity for not only to be seen everywhere, but for him to experience working with those schools and those organizations. And it was really kind of a taking off point for Mark in his broadcasting career with us, because he was able to work with all the great school organizations in the Chicago area, and also to be seen by the viewers in all those areas.
Well, looking back over the years, there's been so many great games, but the one that always sticks in my mind, and Comcast, we did a show about the game, was the 2001 football 5A quarterfinal game between Joliet Catholic and Riverside Brookfield. It was at RB. I'm sure you guys heard it and read about it, maybe even seen the game. 56-50 was the final.
It's knocked down and up the end. That's the end of the ball game. Oh my God!
Chris Minerich in the end zone knocked it away. The Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers will move on to the state semifinal.
Some recent games, February of 2013, the girls, Mother McCauley sectional championship game between Marist and Marion Catholic. Marion Catholic hits a game winner at half court. It actually banked in, and that was the first three-pointer of the entire game. Ashton Melender hit that one, and that was just crazy.
Look at it. It goes off glass. Are you kidding me? Melender, one-footed, goes to the glass and wins a sectional championship.
Year before that one, 2012 boys sectional semi at Argo. It was Marist again. They were taking on Bogan, and Bogan was leading throughout the game. As a matter of fact, Marist was trailing by 10 with 70 seconds left. They fought back. Nick Wisher hit a layup to tie the game up.
They have to make sure they foul.
61-59.
A turnover. Wisher with a layup.
The place was just going absolutely nuts. It was a sold-out crowd at Argo, and Marist actually went in overtime. The game went in overtime. Marist actually won that game. There have been so many memorable games over the years.
When Mark's on camera, he makes it look pretty easy. He's a very easygoing guy, but it kind of belies what really goes on behind the scenes of a Game of the Week production. Mark does a lot of research on the players, the coaches, the schools, and that work ethic, it really comes across on screen because he makes it look like he's just rolling out this information off the top of his head. But there's a lot of research, a lot of work, a lot of communication behind the scenes to make this happen before it goes on.
I have a lot of respect for Mark. As a new athletic director several years ago, Mark was a friendly face on the sideline when we did a lot of our football games, and Mark was there. The one thing I love about Mark as an announcer and as a sideline interviewer is his fairness, not only to the person he's interviewing, but to the student athletes that he covers and has covered for years. His respect for the student athlete is unparalleled.
Mark is a great asset to the industry. He's always very respectful, very insightful, very knowledgeable, always asks great questions, and is patient waiting for good answers. And he's just a real class guy and a great person to be around. He's one of those people you enjoy doing an interview with.
Well, over the years, I've had the opportunity to interview some dynamic people, to say the least, players and or coaches. Stacey King, former Chicago Bull, had the opportunity to talk to him, and Michael Keller-Ditka, of course, great coach for the Chicago Bears, and Ernie Banks, let's play two, Billy Williams, Terrell Owens, dynamic wide receiver. Had the opportunity to talk to Jalil Okafor and Frank Kaminsky and these type of players. It's been a great thrill. Jalen Brunson, former Stevenson Patriot. So it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll have more memories to come.
Mark is very versatile as a broadcaster, and a lot of that comes down to the fact that he's willing to do just about anything it takes to get what we want for the television. He works as a color commentator, a play-by-play, sideline reporter. He does field shooting with us for Sports Weekly highlights. He also steps in as an anchor on Sports Weekly when we need it. So a little bit of everything. He even goes as far as to milk that cow or talk to that friendly parrot when we need him to on some of our events.
In the spring of 2015, all of Mark's hard work paid off with an induction into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
Well, what it meant to me that night, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, just all of the different coaches, the different players, the athletic directors, the sports information directors, the officials, so many different players that came up to me and congratulated me. It kind of remind me of all the relationships that I've had over the past 25 years of working with Comcast and its predecessors. It was a great thrill, and even more so to spend the night with my family, my sister, my brother, and my grandma. It was fortunate that they were there to help share in the memory. It's certainly a night I'll never forget.
Congratulations to my friend and colleague Mark Krueger on being inducted into the IBCA Hall of Fame.
Hi, Mark, thank you for all you've done for high school athletics. Honor is well deserved, and I couldn't think of it going to a greater person and a greater representative of your job and your industry. So best to you, and hopefully we'll see you many times on the sideline this year.
Mark, it's been a true honor to have worked with you for almost 20 years in this industry. You were the first person I worked with as a play-by-play announcer when I came on board with Jones Intercable back in the early 90s. You're just a true professional and somebody that I'm extremely blessed to have known all these years. So congratulations on your honor.
Mark, on behalf of Mount Carmel High School and myself, I want to congratulate you on being elected into the Hall of Fame. What a tremendous honor to a man who respects not only the adults he's interviewing, but respects the hundreds of thousands of student athletes that he's covered. Mark, you're a remarkable man, you're fair, you're great. On behalf of Mount Carmel, congratulations.
It's 25 years with Comcast, and I certainly want to take this opportunity to thank everybody with Comcast Network and Xfinity, Andy and Rich and everybody. They know their names. It's been a great 25 years. There are a lot of talented people that I've worked with and that I will continue to work with, and hopefully it can go on for another 25 years.